there, brother?
Yeah, I put my desk down and there was something underneath it. I had a candle under it.
Okay. I thought you broke some glass or something.
Yeah, no, it was this. So you did hear glass. Yeah.
I'm familiar with those candles.
Yep.
Yeah, that's how you know you got a wife. That's how you know you got a wife.
Man, tell me about it.
I'm not afraid. You will be. You will be. You bet your ass.
What up? It's your boy. Happy Monday, you suckers. Happy Motivation Monday. As you see, I'm talking with my man, Cohen, creator of the Kindle Cash Flow program, and a bunch of other things. A guy that I go way back with as far as doing music and always staying in contact. When you have a group of people, they say that, and I'm paraphrasing, I could be saying it wrong, you are the sum of your 5 friends, 10 friends. So you need to get out there and get you some friends that are about some stuff. And if you already got those friends, you need to be closer to them if you're trying to do something. So Ty is somebody that has always been an inspiration to me as far as knowing someone who actually created themselves through consistent entrepreneurship, right? So I asked him if I can interview him, and he was like, yeah. I ain't gonna lie to you, I thought it was gonna be kind of difficult to get him. Because he knows Robert Kiyosaki, he knows Grant Cardone, he knows Marquel Russell, people who are movers and shakers. He knows these people. And I had to tap into his brain to see, A, how did you get into this space? From, let's take it back to when I met you. How did you go from that to where you are now? All right? So with that, we're going to have Motivation Monday be all about my man Ty. And I think I'm going to continue throughout the week, putting up some more clips of what he's got going on. So just stay tuned to the show. Now, without further ado, I bring on to you Motivation Monday. This conversation is really going to tap into just the entrepreneurial spirit. One thing that I noticed that I miss is learning how to do market research, learning to find out what an industry does, and doing things that are less sexy. I'm into the selling music, selling clothes with my image on it, that kind of stuff, instead of selling toilet paper or selling widgets. So in your process of, say, going from selling the dolls, the action figures, to selling books, selling the books on the music business, to now doing Kindle Cash Flow, what are the steps, if you don't mind, what are the steps that you do when you jump into an endeavor as an entrepreneur? What are the steps that you take?
That's a good question. And I got to tell you, I've done a bazillion of these podcasts, man. You asked some real good questions. So I already know this is going to be dope because you ask questions that other people have not really asked. But maybe it's because also we have history together, right? So I want to go back real quick because you just walked me back to the record stores and selling music in the record stores. Like, I really love talking about that part. So if you don't mind, so the way I came up with that is actually, I'm a big lover of West Coast music. Always have been. The E40s, the DJ Quicks, Sir Mix-a-Lot. I was listening to him, the whole album, the King T's, and, all of those people that we would know, right, back in the day. And I used to subscribe to this magazine called Murder Dog. Have you ever heard of it?
Yeah.
So Murder Dog was a real niche magazine, man, and it had like a lot of indie, underground, Midwest and West Coast, rappers in it. And I would just go in, and like how we used to do with the Source, man, we used to read the Source from cover to cover. And I would read the Murder Dog magazine from cover to cover and learn about, like, Keep the Sneak and Tech Nine and Insane Clown Posse and just all of these artists that were out there.
Ladies and gentlemen, get ready for the most electrifying, the most entertaining, and the downright most incredible channel on YouTube, the Inky Mann channel, where motivation meets gluttony, where Vegas meets victory, and where your love for the Patriots meets its match. Don't miss out on the fun, the food, and the fanaticism, because life is too short not to laugh along with Inky Mann. Subscribe now to the Inky Mann Show channel.
Y'all better give us some of this pimping.
And I would see the ads, and then the ads, and even in the articles, the artists would talk about distributorship. So they would talk about, some of them would talk about distributorship in different forms. So some would talk about going to the record stores, dropping off 50, 100 cassettes, right, at the time, because that's what it was. If you're watching this, you don't know what a cassette is. It's not a pair of binoculars. My 7-year-old, man, I had a box of cassettes, and she picked them up. She was like, "Daddy, these binoculars don't work." So I had to just look at her. I said, "I'm gonna have to have a conversation with your mama later on." But these, man, they were Indian, and they were selling their music and doing that, right? So just going in and selling their music 50, 100, 500 at a time. Master P was on the West Coast at that time. Right. Okay. So this was, I was hearing about Master P before we started to really hear about No Limit, because he was out in, I think it was in Redwood, California, or something like that.
I think.
And then he was out in, he was Richmond. There you go. Thank you. And then you're right. So he was out in that Bay Area out there. And I thought that was like just real intriguing. Right. So the whole independent movement, and I think that pretty much started me in my journey of entrepreneurship, is wanting to always be independent, not wanting to get money from people, and not wanting, just wanting to bootstrap it, because I think there's a different level of satisfaction that comes with that too.
Definitely.
Like we're creative people, and we came up as creative people. So we don't want somebody coming in and saying, okay, well, you have to create your music this way, right? So that carries on with your business as well, right? You don't want someone, if you get money from an investor, it's fine, but the investor is also going to come in and they're going to have say so, right? So I didn't want that. And then as far as coming up with other ideas, man, and each one kind of led into the next thing, right? So almost by accident. So with the toy business, I still had that. It was a company called Planet Toys. That came out of a love, like really loving toys. Me having sickle cell anemia, I would get deep into comic books, and sometimes when I got sick, I would pretend like I'm Superman or I'm Spider-Man and be like, man, Superman wouldn't be laying in this hospital bed. You know what I mean? Like, let me get myself right. And where I come from, we wouldn't be in this position, right? So pretending like I'm a superhero, and that bled over into the action figures. So comic books, collecting the action figures. The way that I got to selling them was I started collecting so many comic books, so many action figures. I worked at Walgreens, and all of my money from Walgreens as a 14-year-old, 15-year-old would go into buying these comic books and action figures. One day my mother came in my room, man, and I had this little room, and she's like, if you don't get rid of some of this stuff, I'm going to throw it out. And she looked at it like it was just, stuff, a bunch of stuff just piling up. I'm like, this is everything right here. So I'm like, I can't let her throw this out. So I started looking at, how do I advertise this stuff? How do I start to sell some of it? Because I would have doubles and triples of comic books and things like that. An exclusive comic book coming out. You go and you buy 2 or 3 of them because you think there's going to be some value to it, right? So I'm like, how do I go sell my doubles? So there were magazines at the time called Action Figure Digest. There was one called Toy Shop, which was a newspaper. And I ran my first ad in Toy Shop. I think it was like $40, man. And it was a business. It was like a credit card. They called it a business. It was like a credit card size ad, right? That you would get to place. And it was $40. So I ran that ad. Didn't know what I was doing. It was just like a crude looking ad. I mean, I can't even remember how I formulated it, right? But put it out.
Okay.
And I ended up making sales. I ended up making about $80. So I'm like, okay, I was able to flip my money, 40 to 80. Did it a couple of more times. And then I started to like graduate to larger size ads. So I went from the business card size to an eighth of a page, and then to a quarter of a page, and then to a half of a page, and then to 4 pages. And then with the 4 pages, I'm just advertising comic books. I'm advertising action figures. I'm advertising everything, a variety of things. And man, that thing was so dope because I would wake up, I had a fax machine, and I would wake up in the morning with orders that came in from Germany, orders that came in from Japan, you know, $3,000, $4,000. And I'm packing all of this stuff up, and I'm going to the post office with these big boxes and, you know, standing in line and selling this stuff, you know, shipping it to the post office, paying $200, $250 with customs and everything else to have it shipped to Japan at that time, and making a lot of money. This is something that I never really told nobody that I really grew up with, because no one really asked, you know what I mean? Like what I was doing with the stuff. But it had got up to a dope business, man, where I was doing, you know, about $25,000 to $30,000 a month some months. And what I found out at some point was, yeah, man, and I was, how old were we at that time? We were in our early 20s, would you say, right?
Yeah, early 20s, yeah. Yep.
I don't know what you're doing now, but you need to tune into the Inky Mann Show. Stop all the bullshit.
I'm out, yo. I'm out, yo.
Tune in Wednesday for some more of the conversation with Ty Cohen, creator of the Kindle Cash Flow program. We'll stop here because your attention span isn't long. Don't front. We know it's not. See you Wednesday, you suckers.
I'm out, yo.